attendant had an air of self-importance and the kind of steely eyes that never seemed to blink.
He doesn't blink. His eyes are actually propped open with toothpicks.
In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marn at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory. Ireland!
What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
You
I'm
are the
sorry,
only
I
one
was
here,
excited.
but keep your voice down, please.
The totem pole looked distinctly out of place in the setting of the museum.
It's the bird looking for the fish to get life to Mother Earth in the ground with wings, fluttering away under the wild winds of fate. That's probably not what it represents. Ooh.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
My bad.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus. Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Let us walk
Are you
into
Lobino?
specific places
Oh,
before
no.
we talk.
Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian.
Oh,
But Lobino does work here.
What?
where's your broom
I
and
wouldn't go
mop?
so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Very well.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says
now I want a
it was
sausage.
found at a Templar preceptory.
It does.
Yeah. It doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle.
I didn't
He
didn't
was
ask for your
an
life
optician,
story, buddy.
But he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read. So he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you see? If I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history.
At your age? Dream on.
George Stobart giving people life advice. He just meets random people. He's like, why don't you go back to school? You could learn a lot of things. You could get a better job. You could do better for yourself. Come on, I'll go with you and help you fill out the papers.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar. Though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
Why?
They ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar.
I am a
Not
valet.
Monsieur Lobino.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well,
So do
whatever
some
he was,
hookers.
That is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology.
Why not?
Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no. That
Ah,
tripod
no.
is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
And me walking around.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Because when we all hear the
Thanks
bell, we come
for your
grunting.
help.
Alright. Okay, all I'm doing is leaving game. You don't need, like, the fanfare of music. Back in Nico's apartment. No.
Hi. I've been to the Crew Museum.
Did you speak to Lobino?
No, he wasn't there.
And I'm upset about it.
I found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
I have heard of Lochmar. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
What? I get
Popular
the
gossip
music is.
magazine. You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marn. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a fourth series of his popular television program. This site at Loch Marn must be awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
For
All
Cocoa
the same,
Puffs.
I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Belota case. If you really think Pegram's dam is important, why don't you visit Lochmarn?
Why don't you
On my
do
own?
it?
I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly?
It's on the map somewhere.
Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clan's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The second week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
I'm glad that you've been sitting there that long, and that's the only thing you have to tell me.
I have to go.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Alright, let's go to Ireland. A few hours later. You know,
I passed the castle on the way into Loch Marn. The castle where Pegram's excavation was located.
the fat guy on the bus smelled like cheese and possibly onions. It was disgusting. I need a drink.
It was a featureless plastic box firmly attached to the wall of the building. It was a trap door in the sidewalk.
Oh, glad to know.
The lad was doing his best to express his adolescent aggression.
Lad?
His effort was somewhat diminished by the fringe of milk on his lightly feathered upper lip.
He looks like he's 35. Let's go talk to him.
Hi there.
Yeah,
What?
no, he's
What's your name,
he's
kid?
35.
Who are you calling kid? Who the hell are you?
Rosso's the name. Murder's my game.
That's not how you
You a detective?
introduce
Let's
yourself.
just say I'm here to find the truth.
Cool. Just like on the telly.
Cut the crap and tell me your name.
Liam McGuire.
What are you doing hanging around the bar, McGuire?
I'm on the run from me dad.
Why? Did you do something bad?
I ain't done nothing, boss.
You can tell me, kid. Is it your dad?
Oh, sir. He drinks every last penny. Down his evil
Oh my
throat.
God, music,
His
calm
poor
down.
old Mother, bedridden and dying of presumption. I tried to buy her medicine. Chopped firewood for Father Mahoney till me fingers bled. The old skinflint cheated me too. But I took the pennies he gave me back home. Look, Ma, says I. See what your darling son has earned with his own sweat and blood. When suddenly, me dad appears and grabs the loot.
Oh,
I'm
was he
off
playing
to
Warcraft
Dublin
with you?
heavy Drinking, says he. Watch out till I get back. That's why I runned away.
Something in the grin on his face told me he wasn't being strictly truthful. Compared to him, Huckleberry Finn was a candidate for Altar Boy of the Year.
I'm sorry, that was just one of the most boring conversations I've ever went through.
Have you ever seen this man before?
What a slimy character. No, I never seed him.
No, seen him. I don't want to know if you've put your seed on him. That's just disgusting, and no one needs to know about that.
What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?
What do you want to know?
Well, can I get inside?
No, It's locked up.
Does anyone live there?
No. Only, what do you want to know? Oh, nothing.
You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?
No.
No.
What is it you're covering up? Is it something you're scared of?
No.
I ain't
Oh.
scared of nothing.
Except maybe little furry rabbits and Boy Scouts. They make fun of me all the time. They said be prepared, and I'm never prepared. And they just make fun of me.
I'll give you one last chance to tell me about the castle.
Oh, yeah? And what if I don't?
Music.
Then I'm taking you back.
Oh my god.
Oh, there's a ghost. It's called the Phantom of Loch Man.
Ooh, I'm a ghost.
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, are you?
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes. Last Tuesday night, I went up to see what that dig was about. I just reached the top of the wall when I hears this awful noise.
What sort of noise?
An awful one.
Horrible snuffling and snorting, like O'Brien's pig, only worse. It was coming from inside the castle.
Dun dun dun.
Did you find out what was making the noise in the castle?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like Humpty Dumpty.
Did you have
The
a great
room
fall?
was cracked and greasy like an old dinner plate. The yard was full of shadows. I could have been hiding anything. I would have gone home, but my legs had lost their stuffing.
That's when you need to call Scooby-Doo and the gang and their mystery machine to come and find out who the ghost is. It's Professor Willikers.
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And a fearsome sight it is too. I sat on my arse, waited while the moon went down. Then out it comes from the shadows, all grey and tattered and hunched over like an old bent willow. Then I hears this spluttering and splashing and horrible laughter in the
It
dark.
was a little
I
kid
was
playing
so
in the
scared.
rain.
Why, I fell off the bloody wall.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
There is. The bloody place is haunted.
It's rational enough for me.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
I know you know the man if he's the one. He speaks really fast sometimes.
Can you tell me where I'd find Pegram?
No, I can't, because he's not here now. But if I sees him, I'll ask him.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
Let's go into the lounge. Well, there's people all over the place. Got a guy going. Okay, that's not what he's doing.
The guy sat in the corner as if he was a permanent fixture.
Norm!
There was a vacant look on his cow-like face that said quite clearly, nobody home.
Nobody was home.
The young red-haired guy was plainly nervous about something.
And?
The guy sat in the corner as if he was a permanent fixture. I'd been taught not to judge people by their appearance or their clothes or the length of their hair.
But I'm judging him.
Nobody ever said anything about runny noses. It was a beer-stained piece of toweling.
Ew. That was disgusting. Projectile.
It was a beer-stained piece of toweling.
Projectile sneezing. Watch him.